So it is really late where I am right now, and I was gonna go to bed, but then I decided why not record a little bit of depression before before I go to bed. Probably not one of my best ideas, but I really, really wanted to continue the story. Oh, look, where the? Oh, okay. What the fuck is this loud? Who?
おかえりなさい、サッチ。
Parents!
今日の学校は楽しかったか？
Oh, they're nice. Oh, they're so dead. I mean, well, we know that. She said them as past tense, and oh boy. The workshop was constantly filled with the clamor of industrial machines, but when I shouted out a greeting, my parents never failed to put down their work and answer, "Oh." My gentle mother, who always smelled like freshly dried laundry, and my smiling father, whose face was constantly smeared with grease and oil. I loved them both very much. Oh no. No, it's over already. My earliest memories from the day before I entered elementary school are all wonderfully happy. My dad was a metal worker and engineer from Niigata, and my mom was born into a family that operated a small precision manufacturing workshop in Kanagawa. About 20 years ago, they met at a technology fair and fell in love. Soon enough, they'd started up a little factory of their own on the outskirts of this small city. I was born shortly thereafter, completing an intimate little family of 3. Oh no.
あなた、どうしましょう。サチが泣き止まないわ。
You know, I guess when you're not used to babies, you don't know what to do.
熱もあるみたいだし、すぐに病院へ連れて行こう。
Uh-oh. That's bad juju.
でも、夕方までに納品の仕事がまだ。
そんなのは後で頭を下げればなんとかなる。それより、サチの命の方が大事だ。
Damn, this dad knows what's up. Dude, good parents? What is this? The orders placed at that freshly established workshop tended to be small in scale, and its track record couldn't have been called excellent, even as polite flattery. The primary cause? My parents prioritized their newborn child above all else, as you probably should, frequently missing important deadlines for my sake. Yeah, but maybe the people will understand, you know? But despite their inconsistent job performance, their character won of respect and affection. Our young family was able to get by thanks to the support of others. And... oh no, don't take me. No. Dude, I'm scared. I have no idea what could happen. Oh no.
ねえねえ、お母さん、お買い物一緒に行こう。
Oh no, I'm thinking industrial accident. Oh god.
そうね。そろそろお夕飯の準備もしないといけないんだけど。
Which means you should go shopping for that food.
ああ、仕事の方は心配しないでいいから、二人で行ってくるといい。
Dude, this dad. Dad of the year. Already. No, watch, he's gonna turn around horribly wrong.
すみません、あなた。
いいさ。どうせもうすぐ片付くしね。
じゃあ、お父さんの好きなおビールも買ってくる。
ありがとう、サチ。
God damn it. Wait a minute. They both have like brown hair. How does Sachi have pink? Even once I got a little bigger, I spent lots of time with my parents, especially in the evenings. I'd always pull at my mom's hand and beg her to go shopping with me.
サチは今日何が食べたい？
Burgers, please.
卵ふりかけ。
What the fuck's an egg bit?
ふりかけじゃなくて、ハンバーグとかすき焼きとか、もっと好きなものを言っていいのよ。
I'd probably choose the Salisbury steak over that.
じゃあね、サメさん。
Alright.
サメさんはちょっと。
We might have to go to the ocean and hunt that ourselves.
サメさん食べられない？そうね。サチはサメが好きなのは知ってるけど、できれば別のものにしてほしいかな。
Hey, you asked her what she feels like eating.
それならサチ、タコさんウインナーがいい。
Okay, that's probably pretty good.
ごめんね、サチ。
どうしてお母さんが謝るの？サチ、お母さんが作ってくれる目玉焼きとタコさんが一番大好きだよ。
ありがとう。私もサチのことが大好きよ。
Swirling around inside my head.
あらさっちゃん、今日もお母さんと一緒でいいわね。
Thinking back on it now, our household was definitely on the poor side. Yeah, I was about to say, I think there's a money issue going on. You could count on one hand the number of times per year a real treat of a meal graced our dinner table. But Mom's cooking was always delicious anyway. And more importantly, I loved the feeling of her soft, warm hand wrapped around mine. Fortunately, the adults around us watched over our family with warm gazes and small acts of kindness. Aww.
じゃあこいつはサービスだ。
Dude, the shop keeps giving out freebies.
いつもすみません。
いやいや、うちも駅向こうにできたスーパーのせいで大変なんだが。
Oh, so they know how it is.
小峰さんには変わらずひいきにしてもらってるからね。
ありがとうございます。
おじさん、いつもおまけしてくれてありがとう。
Aw, give Sachi a little head pat.
お、その年でちゃんとお礼が言えれた。偉いね、さっちゃんは。よーし、それならおじさん、唐揚げ用のお肉もサービスしちゃおう。
What? Free fried chicken? Bruh. This guy's great. I love this man.
本当にすみません。
He threw in some fucking chicken, dude.
こりゃ後でかみさんに怒られちまうかもな。
Oh, we've all been there. Or we all have.
あなた、今日も一日お疲れ様です。
Yeah, our house is really bare bones, ain't it?
あ、お前もお疲れ様。
お疲れ様。
Sachi. I helped. Surrounded by Mom's cooking, we thanked each other for our daily labors as Dad tilted his beer glass. When the dishes in front of us were about halfway gone and the glass half empty in front of him, or sat empty in front of him. I don't know why I said half empty. Maybe I was hoping it was half empty. Dad would always sit back in his chair and start to tell me a story. Oh.
なあサチ、サチはエッチングって知ってるかい？
No.
聞いたことない。
あなた、サチはまだ5歳ですよ。今からそんなことを知っている方がおかしいわ。
I just forget sometimes.
そうかな。俺がサチくらいの頃には親父の仕事場に潜り込んでは勝手に機械をいじってたもんだったわ。
Well, that's fucking dangerous. That's what we call an accident waiting to happen.
だってサチ、工場の機械を触ってるよりもお人形さんと遊んでる方が楽しいもん。
I'm with you, Sachi. I'd rather play with the dolls than those machines.
やっぱりそうか。サチは女の子だもんな。
Being a girl has nothing to do with it.
サチは大きくなったらお母さんみたいなお母さんになるの。
Oh, they're just wanting to tear out my heart, aren't they?
サチ。
They're gonna tear out my heart.
おお、サチは嬉しいこと言ってくれるな。じゃあおもちゃのお人形さんを作っていたお父さんの親戚の家の話をしてあげよう。
How much you want to bet like half the stories he tells are like bullshit? Like this one? One of my, like how his uncle apparently works in a doll factory when specifically talking about dolls? Bullshit.
お人形さんの話だったらサチ聞きたい。
Make up them stories. Tell Sachi the ways. Dad's stories were almost always connected to his job somehow. Even so, it was fun to hear about new things, and I was in awe of him for knowing all that super complicated stuff. But what always impressed me more than anything else was his amazing handiness.
お父さん、この時計電池を変えても動かないの。
どれどれ。通電してないみたいだな。配線のハンダ付けがいい加減だったんだろう。
Oh, we could fix that problem.
時計また動くようになる？
あ、これくらいならすぐに治るぞ。
He's like, you're damn right I can.
お父さんすごい。
壊れた時計くらいならお母さんの機嫌を直すより簡単さ。
Dad loved playing with machines from a very young age, so he could repair almost anything. And because of that, the things we bought tended to last much longer than they normally would, and I always thought of him as some kind of wizard. Oh, what is this music?
ねえねえ、お父さん、それ何？
Is it a music box?
ああ、これはオルゴールって言うんだ。
Oh no.
オルゴール？
この箱を開けるとね、音が鳴るような仕掛けになっているの。
へえ、そうなんだ。
サチはオルゴールを見るの初めてだったかしら？
I mean, I barely even see music boxes in my life, so probably.
それにね、なんだかすごく素敵な音がした。
Maybe it's just because of the generation we live in.
あら、サチは素敵なんて言葉よく知っていたわね。
昨日見たテレビで言ってたの。
Already absorbing that information.
なるほど。それでサチはこの曲のことを素敵だなって思ってくれたのね。
とっても綺麗な音だった。
そう。サチがそう言ってくれるとお母さん嬉しいわ。
どうして？
このオルゴールに入っている曲はね、お父さんとお母さんの結婚式で流した思い出の曲なんだ。
Oh, well, ain't that sweet. Oh boy.
結婚式？
そうね。好きな人と幸せになるためにする約束みたいなもののことよ。
Promise. Oh God, it's begun. Oh, stop.
幸せ。
Oh Jesus.
幸せっていう字はね、サチの名前と同じ字を書くの。
Is it?
そうなの？
そう。だからサチも大きくなったら好きな人と結婚してきっと幸せになれるわよ。
そっか。じゃあサチも大きくなったらお父さんとお母さんと結婚する。
Oh, well, ain't that just adorable? She's a kid. Leave her alone. She doesn't know any better.
お母さん、うちにボイスレコーダーはあったかな？
もう何言ってるんですか、あなたは。
お父さんはサチと結婚したら嬉しい？
ああ、嬉しすぎてサチのことがもっともっと好きになっちゃうな。
God damn it.
そっか。
でも好きな人と結婚するためにはサチがもっと大きくならなくっちゃね。
Like how the dad was just playing along, you know?
サチもっと大きくなれるようにたくさん牛乳飲む。
Yeah, I imagined her doing like the showing off your muscles pose right there, you know, when you flex. Why didn't I just say when I imagine her flexing? Oh my God. From that day forth, the sound of that music box became a familiar part of my life. The gentle melody that accompanied our family gatherings felt almost like a symbol of happiness itself. I'd always understood that Dad loved me just as much as Mom, although he was often busy with work. And since I happened to love him very much myself, I had a habit of begging him to play with me on the weekends. Ooh.
ねえねえ、お父さん、お外に遊びに行く？
Look at this family. Look at it.
おお、サチはいつも元気だな。
Look at this. This is oh.
日曜日はね、お外でお父さんと遊ぶ日って決めてるの。
Oh, it's the tradition now.
そうか。
だからお父さんも一緒に遊ばないとダメなんだよ。
そうだな。じゃあ今日はお父さんと公園でキャッチボールをしようか。
Oh, the park. Yuji.
キャッチボール？
Because I'm a UG occupation student, except he's not occupation student Mark II yet. Oh, oh!
よーし、いいぞ。そしたらここにめがけてそのボールを投げるんだ。
Throws it as Yuji's head.
ボールを投げる。
There you go.
おお、うまいじゃないか、サチ。初めてでここまでできるなんてすごいぞ。
You almost knocked dear old dad over.
ああ、お父さんは運動ダメだったけど、そういうところはお母さんに似てくれてよかったよ。
He's a nerd. Alright. I think Dad probably wanted a boy. Not that he ever came out and admitted it, of course. But when he watched me tossing a baseball around or playing soccer, his eyes were livelier than usual. Once I caught on, I started begging him to play with me, even on weekdays, eager to see that happy expression on his face. But of course, Dad had his work to take care of, so he couldn't tag along every time. As a result, I sometimes had too much time on my hands. One particularly dull afternoon, I decided on a total whim to imitate Mom and clean the floor of the workshop. And when I did... There she goes. Listen, she's working.
あらサチ、ほうきなんか持って何してるの？
I'm helping!
お掃除だよ。
Yeah, that's the most expression a parent would have.
偉いじゃないサチ。
You might just be getting dust all around, but you're helping.
進んでお手伝いをしてくれるなんてお母さんとっても嬉しいわ。
Oh no! Is this the beginning of it?
ねえ聞いてあなた、サチが工場を掃除してくれていたのよ。
何？本当か？
Oh, okay, he stopped the machine.
あなたもこっちに来てサチのことを褒めてあげてください。
Doing things? Promises? Praising? Oh god, it's the start. It's over. Hold on. As my parents showered me in compliments, almost like the time I'd brought home the first prize for a picture I drew in kindergarten, I blushed with joy. Their initial reaction was surprising enough, but after work that day, both Mom and Dad came outside to play with me. Alright.
お母さん、こっちこっち。
あら、サチもいつの間にかそんなに速く走れるようになっていたのね。
God, even at a young age, she's just better than everyone at everything.
それより二人とも少しは手加減してくれ。こっちの体力が持たないよ。
Love how since he's not athletic, he's just fucking dying.
だね。今日はサチ、お母さんと一緒にお父さんをやっつけるんだもん。
Whoa! The ultimate betrayal. Top 10 anime betrayals.
そうね、そうしましょうか。
God. God.
おいおい、勘弁してくれよ。
Get him while he's weak. Go for the knees. The sad's about to happen, isn't it? You're just building it up. We laughed and played until evening came. For one day, the machine sat silent in the workshop. In exchange, our house was filled with the resounding melody of the music box, and from that shining moment, I was left with a powerful new conviction. It makes Mommy and Daddy happy when I clean up. If I do it again, they'll play with me more. Motivated by that simple thought, I began to clean the workshop and our house whenever I had the time. Yup, that was the beginning.
ほらお父さんお母さんお仕事はもう終わったんだから一緒に遊ぼう。
わかったわかった。もうすぐ片付くから、せめて着替える時間くらいは待ってくれよ、サチ。
ダメだよ早くしないと砂場が他の人に占領されちゃうんだから。
Capture the sandbox.
もうサチったら
Sachi's a little firework, ain't she? And sure enough, whenever I cleaned up for them, my parents would emerge from the workshop with resigned smiles on their faces. After witnessing that same scene play out countless times, I'm sure the neighbors had me down as a slightly spoiled little tomboy. Not that I noticed at the time, so caught up in every precious little moment. Back then, my world consisted of nothing but the things before my eyes, the places my short legs could carry me. It was more than enough. But eventually, my way of thinking did undergo a clear change. That day, a little while into my first year of elementary school, I proudly brought home my first perfect test. Oh!
すごい本当に100点だわ。
Damn. Fucking smart ass little girl.
ちょっとあなたちゃんと聞いてます？
We've never done this.
ああ、すまない。あまりの驚きで思わず呼吸が止まってしまっていたよ。
いくらなんでもそれは驚きすぎですよ。
そうだよお父さん。
Wow, Dad.
いやいや、決してそんなことはないぞ。
Just wow.
お父さんも何度か100点は取ったことがあるが、算数のテストで取ったことはなかった。サチは運動神経がいいだけじゃなくて頭もいいんだな。
Oh, and it was math. Oh, God.
そうね。今日はサチが初めて100点を取ったお祝いに腕によりをかけてごちそうを作らないと。
Now, let's go out and get some freebies.
本当やった
At the time, I was a very simple person. Being praised makes me happy. When I do well on tests, Mom and Dad are really nice. And the food at dinner gets better too. In that case, I'm gonna get perfect scores every time. Having reached that conclusion, I shifted my efforts to my studies. I always listened carefully in school, and at home, I'd voluntarily head off to my desk and pore over my books.
今度は社会科のテストで100点か。
You know what sucks about doing really well, though? The one thing that really sucks is once you do well in everything and are perfect at everything, people expect that from you for the rest of your life. Much like how when you're the hardest worker at work, you're just expected to do everything, and if you slack off or, whatever, just the tiniest bit, you get in big trouble. Whereas people who they know are shit don't get in trouble. That's the worst part about it.
クラスで100点を取れたのは私だけだって先生も褒めてくれたよ。
You only won. That's because the other students suck.
最近はうちでも勉強を頑張っているみたいだし、学期末にもらえる通知表が楽しみね。
Always. Let's go. The harder I tried, the more my parents complimented me. The more effort I put in, the wider the smiles on their faces. That was all there was to it, but simple as I was, that was more than enough to motivate me. As I focused on that clear objective, my grades soared with astonishing swiftness. Oh God. I don't like when the music just stops. It just bothers me. Okay, we're back.
はい。今日はサチが全部4以上の通知表をもらってきたお祝いよ。
All B's and A's? Bruh.
手巻き寿司だ。
How the hell did we afford this?
サチは最近頑張ってくれているから、その分私たちもお返ししなくちゃね。
お返し？
そうだぞ。何かのために努力するってことは口で言うほど簡単じゃない。だからそれができたサチのことを褒めるのは当然のことなんだ。
そっか。
あ、今回はサチが頑張ったご褒美にお父さんが何でも買ってあげるぞ。
Anything!
何でもなんて言ってしまっていいんですか？
Yeah, you might have bit off a little more than you can chew, buddy.
たまにはいいさ。ほら、何でもいいから言ってごらん、サチ。
Is she gonna be like, I don't want anything?
欲しいものはあんまりないかも。
Yup. Play with me more.
え？
お父さんとお母さんに褒めてもらえて、お寿司が食べられるなら、もう何もいらないよ。
サチ。
What is this? The ideal daughter over here? Ooh, those were my true feelings. Of course, sometimes I did look at the pretty new clothes my friends wore and feel a little envious. And I sort of wanted to visit those fancy amusement parks they talked about on TV too. But dear Lord, are they expensive. But when I went home after school, Mom and Dad were always waiting. The music box played its beautiful song in the background. And the people I loved had smiles on their faces. That was more than enough for me. Uh-oh, no, don't do this to me. But those tranquil days didn't last forever. Yep. Time for the heart ripping. One day, word got out that Dad's family had received a contract for grinding lenses that would be used on a space shuttle. Oh, leading to media interest and a TV interview. We'd contributed intricate metal molds that were now valuable manufacturing assets. With the sunburst of publicity, a few major orders started trickling down to our workshop as well. Dad had always been skilled, and now he had the chance to prove it. In the blink of an eye, rumors were spreading about the high-quality precision dyes dyes our workshop produced. Before we knew it, our little branch of the business was flooded with more orders than even his parents' workshop. Damn! A year or so after these events, my life had changed dramatically. Oh, God. Oh, God. Well, we don't have time for you, Sachi. Go away. No. Hello? Yup. They don't have time anymore. Back from school, I yelled out a greeting to the workshop from force of habit, but there was no answer from Mom and Dad. Instead, I was welcomed home by the drone of industrial machines, a constant companion from morning through night. God, I hate those sounds. Oh, no, the sad. On the dining table, a gorgeous meal was waiting for me, but the clouds of steam that proved the food was freshly made were missing. Oh. The pencils I used to wear down to the nub had all been replaced with nice new pens, but I no longer heard Dad's encouraging voice at my side as I studied. They're too busy. Oh, but you can never be too busy for your own, to not spend time with your own child. I could wear all, or even say hi, welcome back, I love you, you know. I could wear all sorts of brand new clothes, but Mom didn't sew shark appliques onto my dresses anymore. Among all these, what hurt the most was the simplest change of all. I no longer spent much time with my parents. Producing metal dyes is precision manufacturing, requiring both high technical knowledge and natural skill. It was extremely difficult to find qualified new employees for such a small business. Dealing with a workload that had suddenly doubled with the same number of people as before, there was no choice but to increase working hours proportionally. The amount of time Mom and Dad spent in the house became extremely limited, and the amount of time I spent alone grew dramatically. Even so, I wanted their attention just as badly as before. Sometimes I would sit up waiting, rubbing my drowsy eyes until the machines finally fell quiet. Oh.
お疲れ様、お父さん、お母さん。
ああ、サチか。
Wow, why you got that angry face on?
こんな時間まで起きていたの？
どうしてもお父さんとお母さんに見てもらいたいものがあったの。
見てもらいたいもの？
Oh.
ほら見て、今日は初めて理科のテストで100点を取ったんだよ。
Oh, they're not gonna give a shit anymore, are they?
おお、そうか。偉いな、サチは。
Okay, kinda giving a shit.
おめでとう、サチ。
Okay, you could have put a little more emotion in that, but you're tired. I got you. Wow, that felt dead. And when I did, my parents would still listen to what I had to say. But even then, they didn't smile like before. Their faces were always lined with exhaustion, their eyes dull. I knew they were busy because Dad's family had been on TV. I just had to tough it out a little longer and things would go back to normal. I did my best to believe that. I waited as patiently as I could for my parents to get less busy. But rather than diminishing, the work kept pouring steadily in. Even after 3 months, then half a year, the situation didn't improve in the slightest. In fact, things eventually got so frantic that my parents hired a housekeeper to look after things. She cooked and took care of the laundry in Mom's place. She accepted the handouts I brought home. When there was a parents' night at school, she was the one who showed up. Wow. The housekeeper was a diligent person who took her job seriously, and she was always nice to me. Housekeeper, maid. But that wasn't enough. For some reason, I never felt particularly happy when the housekeeper patted my head gently and praised my achievements. So one day, taking advantage of a brief pause in the feverish activity in my parents' workshop, I rushed up to Mom and tried to show off my latest test. Oh boy.
ごめんね、サチ。お母さん、これから取引先の会社さんに行かないといけないの。
Oh, come on, it doesn't matter. Just be like, oh, you did good. Good job, you know?
何時になったら帰ってくるの？
She won't.
多分、とても遅くなるから、また今度ね。
Like, I get it. You're really busy. Like, I had a dad who was, you know, he has his own business. He's busy all the time. I'm pretty sure I said this exact same goddamn thing in this series. He worked literally from 4 in the morning to like 9 or 10 at night. But you know what? He always was around for me anyway. You know, he always, you know, tried to make sure that I knew that he loved me, you know, because, yeah, I'm sick talking like I'm in the past. Like, he's not passed away or anything. This is just really sad to see.
せっかく苦手だった国語のテストで100点を取ったのに。
Oh, Sachi, come here. You need a hug. I'm here. For the first time, I couldn't get her to even glance at the paper. She could have at least looked at it. I still remember the shock and anger I felt. Crumpling the test into a ball, I threw it into the trash can. Oh no. Okay, please. It's getting worse and worse. All right, just hold on. And I'm getting saltier. And on the night I turned 10 years old, or 9 years old, not 10. No one was there. Neither Mom nor Dad were waiting for me. Instead, I was greeted by a feast our housekeeper had prepared, and a pile of presents stacked up on the table. But I didn't have the slightest interest in the food in front of me, much less the colorfully wrapped boxes. Man, I'm tearing up. This stuff isn't what I wanted. The only thing on my mind was conveying that simple truth to my parents. And so I sat, and I waited, even when the clock ticked past 9 and our housekeeper headed home. Even when unfamiliar shows started to appear on the television, which I'd left on so I could hear the sound of human voices, I didn't budge. And a little after the hour hand on the clock crept past 11, the clamor of the machines finally came to a stop. Oh.
これで明日までには納品できるだろう。
でも、すぐに次の仕事にかからないと。
そうだな。って、サチ。
She's literally just staying awake.
もしかして私たちの仕事が終わるのを待っていてくれたの？
うん。
そうか。それは悪いことをしたな。おお、そうだ。遅くなってしまったけど、9歳の誕生日おめでとう。
Wow, you didn't even tell her happy birthday till earlier. It's...
おめでとう、サチ。
So...
最近サチには寂しい思いをさせてしまったから、プレゼントも大奮発したのよ。
Doesn't matter. These presents aren't what you wanted. That's not what you wanted.
どうしたの？サチ、お腹でも痛くなった？
よく見たら、ご飯も全然食べていないじゃないか。
いらない。
Ooh.
プレゼントもごちそうもいらない。
She wants you guys back.
だから一人でステーキを食べるより、機械の音が聞こえないお家でみんな一緒にカレーが食べたい。
Before I knew it, the words had slipped out of my mouth, and tears were running down my cheeks. Those were the words I'd kept shut away tightly inside ever since the workshop got busy. My honest, selfish feelings. For the first time in a while, I was the spoiled little girl again. Ooh. As soon as the words left my mouth, my parents' eyes opened wide with surprise. When that shock gave way to awkward, troubled expressions, I realized the mistake I'd made. I just said something really mean to Mom and Dad. No, you're just letting them know this is what you actually want. The instant I understood how selfish my words had been, my heart started to throb painfully in my chest. I stood up from the table and ran from the room, trying to escape the sudden wave of guilt. I'm with Sachi on this one. She had every right to say that. It's not even being selfish. You waited months upon... Stop, Sachi. It's fine. Sachi, you waited months. You're not being selfish. You waited months, and nothing changed. In fact, it got worse. So of course you would say something like that. I understand. Dashing into my room, I burrowed down into the futon and cried my eyes out. I was angry at my parents, who couldn't spare a single night for me, even on my birthday. And I was angry at myself for being cruel to my exhausted parents, who'd been forced to work by circumstances beyond their control. Tormented by this jumbled mixture of intense emotions, I cried into my pillow until morning came. That was my 9th birthday. That's not a good 9th birthday. After that miserable day, I decided to change my way of thinking and start fresh. Maybe finally saying what I'd locked inside helped. Maybe all the crying got all the poison out of my system. Either way, I found a new conviction to cling to. If what I was doing isn't enough, I'll just have to try even harder. No, Sachi. Not merely devoting myself to my studies, I began actively volunteer for class representative and other student government duties. I threw myself into anything that seemed like it might put smiles on my parents' faces, even learning to play the music box song they loved so much. Probably because of that broad, spirited effort, my results at school rose so high that I broke the top 10 list for our year. God, Jesus. Grades other than A disappeared from my report card entirely, and the comments were increasingly filled with effusive praise about how I become an example for other students. But even then,
お父さん、今日は終業式だったから通知表もらってきたよ。
おお、もうそんな季節か。
それでね、今回は私、評価の数字が全部5だったの。
You did good, Sachi.
じゃあ、この仕事が終わったらじっくり見せてもらうから、もう少しだけ待っててくれるか？
You could literally take the report card right now. Look at it. Oh, I'm so salty. Like, I know a lot of you are probably gonna be like, God, you don't you understand? They're busy with work. Da, 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 da. Yeah, but it doesn't matter how busy you are. You should always make time for that sort of thing. And I'm not necessarily a family person either. I just know that's how it should be.
もういい。
Damn. Ooh. Just here. Hold on. Can I listen to this?
もういい。
Like, ooh. Oh, God. In the end, nothing changed. Even when I brought home a straight A report card for the first time, Mom and Dad didn't pay attention to me like they used to. If the best possible results weren't enough, it could only mean that my parents had started to hate me. No matter how good my grades got, it wouldn't make them start loving me again. They were probably working really hard on their jobs so they could get enough money to run away together. Okay, Sachi, now you're starting to think crazy. The more I thought, the more dejected I felt. Why had I even bothered to try so hard all this time? Before I knew it, my legs had carried me to the neighborhood park, where we'd once played together as a family. Yuji!
ここは何も変わらない。
Yuji, give her that somebody.
真ん中にある丸いベンチも、テントウムシの横にある砂場も、ずっと同じ。
She sounds so dead. But I might never be able to play there again, not like I had before. I'm the saddest kid in the world, abandoned by my own parents. It was only a few moments after I'd convinced myself of this that I noticed a mysterious boy. Aw, look at little Yuji. He wasn't doing a thing, just sitting quietly on a swing, staring off into space. I'd always thought of this park as a place where everyone played all the time, so the motionless boy struck me as out of place. What's that kid doing over there? Only a few seconds after the first twinge of curiosity, I walked right up to him.
ねえ、私の声聞こえてる？
Ugh. I kind of, huh? I want to do the same voice. No, we can't. Huh?
だから私の声聞こえてる？それとも聞こえてない？
I mean, you said, huh? If I couldn't hear you, I don't think I'd be able to answer.
そっか、そういえばそうだよね。
Got him. So, did you want something?
うん。あなたは何をしているのかが気になって。
Sitting here, being sad and lonely, per usual. Well, I wasn't doing anything, I guess. Aww.
何それ？
Well, my sister told me that sometimes people need to spend time doing nothing at all. Thanks, Kazami Kazuki, Occupation Student Mark 1.
へえ、あなたのお姉さんって面白いこと言う人なんだね。
Oh, his sister's a weird one. Is, not past tense. Yeah, that's what everyone says.
でも公園は遊具がたくさんあるところなんだから、ブランコとかジャングルジムで遊んだ方が楽しいでしょ？そう思わない？
Yeah, you're probably right.
じゃあ一緒に遊ぼうよ。
Aww. Huh?
私はここで遊びたいって思ってて、あなたも公園は遊ぶところだと思ってる。
So come on, let's go play.
だったら一緒に遊ばない理由はないでしょ？
Dot, 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 dot.
ほら、行こ
Just dragging him around. The boy looked so painfully bored that even the saddest kid in the world had forgotten to feel sorry for herself. As he blinked up at me, completely dumbfounded, I grabbed him by the hand and pulled him along after me. That is how I met Yukun.
う。まずは何をして。で、そうだ。
Well, what's wrong?
あなたの名前を聞くの忘れてた。
Yeah, I guess you did.
じゃあ改めてあなたのお名前は？
Yuji. Kazami Yuji. No title.
ユージくんか。じゃあこれからユウくんって呼ばせてもらうね。
Ugh! Am I the only one smiling right now? Huh? Huh?
そっちの方が呼びやすいでしょ。
What's your name then?
私の名前はサチ。小峰サチっていうの。
Sachi? Like an orca? Get wrecked.
ねえユウくん、パンチしていい？
You're already starting to hit him? What? Sorry.
それから私の呼び方もユウくんが好きに決めてくれていいからね。
But you just said whatever you want. This is bullshit. Okay then. I guess I'll go with Sachan. Ah!
やっぱりさっちゃんか。
I mean, nothing else literally comes to mind.
そうだよね。
After this brief exchange of introductions, we immediately got down to the business at hand. Playing.
じゃあ最初はあれからだよ、ユウくん。
I guess. The jungle gym?
そう、まずはどっちが早くてっぺんまで登れるかの勝負だからね。
Oh, wait, hold on a second! After deciding of the event on a whim, I forcibly started the game. Yukun didn't have many suggestions himself, but when I pulled on his arm, he'd follow. Pretty heavy-handed, I know. Anyway, we must have been fairly evenly matched in reflexes and strength. Every game was a competitive match. I was always the winner, of course, but only by a narrow margin. That made the games much more fun, so I just kept going and going. Before I knew it, the sun had begun to sink below the horizon. Oh, the first time she's probably had fun in many, many months. Oh, I think I need to go home pretty soon.
もうそんな時間になってたんだ。
Yeah, we ended up playing a whole lot.
ごめんね、遅くまで付き合わせちゃって。
That's okay. I'll be fine as long as I head straight home.
それならよかった。
Yeah.
それじゃあバイバイ、ユウくん。
Bye. Thanks for playing with me today. Oh, what a nice little boy. Oh. Kind of weird for the person who got dragged around all day to say thanks to the person who was doing the dragging. Well, it was also odd that I thought about Yukun the whole way back home. I ended up so lost in thought that I barely touched the meal our housekeeper had made for me. Once he actually started playing, I think he enjoyed it as much as I did. But when I was trying to think of new games, or when we stopped for a break, Yukun went right back to the expression I saw on his face at the start. Why was Yukun in that playground in the first place? It obviously wasn't to play. Maybe something bad had happened at his home too. Oh God. But I'm salty. Like the Yuji part made up for it. Like, I mean, we're not even done yet, but like, it's, yeah, I don't know. I'm just slightly salty, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking of it in a wrong perspective, or maybe I'm in the right mind. But I don't know. I feel like you should, no matter how busy you get, you should always show the person that you love or care about the time of day, you know, regardless if it's your child, your spouse, or whatever. You need to show them that you do care, that you're still there for them, regardless of how busy your job is. And I think I'm glad I had my dad to kind of teach me that without actually teaching me that, you know, just from his actions. So I'm glad I had that experience, and I'm kind of glad I think this way. You know, I don't know. This is they're not bad parents, Sachi's parents. They're just putting this work that is very important above all else. above everything, even their own daughter. And it's truly heartbreaking to see, honestly.